All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here. I have a very interesting person here. His name is Nate. He is a martial arts instructor. He owns this dojo called MPUSA. He was gracious enough to invite me out here to just talk to him, which is awesome. And we were just talking about energy. I feel like his dojo is a little different from other ones that just do mixed martial arts. His incorporates energy and wellness and a little bit of spirituality and meditation, just mixes it all together so you just become a better person, right?
Well, I'm so glad you mentioned this. So, in a nutshell, yes, but in a whole lot of different ways, yes. So, my name's Nate Zalesnik, and I'm the president and co-founder of MPUSA, but also the Art of Vibravision. So, in the MP, well, it stands for Merpati Putih, which means white dove. Comes out of Indonesia, and it's the royal family of Java. It's their family lineage for the past 500 years. Now, in Merpati Putih or MP, we call it MP because that's how they pronounce it. In this art, there are 5 different aspects. So in mixed martial arts, you're going to find, grappling, you're going to find striking, but you're going to find them all to be external martial arts, combative martial arts. In Merpati Putih and Vibravision, we actually have 5 aspects. We have fighting, we have forms, but then that's where the similarities really stop from any other system that's really available in the United States, other than just a couple other internal systems that also do internal energy generation. And I mean chi that you can actually feel and feel quickly. We're actually One of our claims to fame is being the braking masters. So breaking steel bars, well pump handles, breaking leaf springs from cars, using our internal energy to protect us, but also to do things like you might have seen in movies where somebody hits the top of something and breaks just the bottom.
Blood sport.
The
Yep.
dim mak, which
So
it's not actually the dim mak,
one
but hey, you
question,
got it.
one question about that.
Yeah,
That really has nothing to do with how big and how strong you are.
not
It's
at all.
the way you channel your energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. It has everything to do with your electricity in your body. So we have a method that's been passed down for close to 500 years that is unlike any other energy development lesson in the world. It is by far and away the fastest and most powerful system that there is. And then we have healing. So take your energy to be able to heal other people, but also heal yourself faster. And the 5th discipline is Vibravision, where we're able to teach people, even if they're blind, how to sense their environment using senses beyond sight. So we teach this in a reproducible way that we have had numerous neuroscientists, doctors, optometrists, and even blind people come and train with us, and everybody's just, oh my God. So what we're doing is we're taking an ancient art that's very mystical that was kept secret, and my brother and I, we're the first ever non-Indonesian people allowed to learn this, and we were chosen by the 11th generation royal family heirs
That's
to
awesome.
take this to the world. And so now we don't just train blind people, we train mind people because we're all blind. I mean, we just don't see what we don't
Or we
see.
see behind the veil. Or we can't see behind the veil.
But the things in our lives, meaning if you're going into the quantum, okay, that's one thing. But I mean, what about where are my keys right now? And going and being able to remote view your keys. What about if you're in a dark hallway? What's around you? If you're in a dark alley, or having that intuitive knowing, should I go that way, or is that going to be dangerous for me, or go that way? And we've had a lot of cases where people use their intuition because it's reliable now, and it saves their life, myself included.
That's funny. I just bought a book about remote viewing and how to do it, bro. Literally, I just got it in the
Yeah,
mail today or
yeah.
last night. I haven't read it yet, but that's
It's-
something that fascinates me.
Somehow I
And
knew that, I guess.
the,
Yeah.
yeah, that. So people that say remote viewing is being able to know where something is beyond space and time, and your distance of how far it is irrelevant, right?
Well, and even the CIA has done these different things where they are able to train people how to see what was happening with the Soviet Union, where the missile silos were, where transports were going, and they called it the Stargate project. They've had different programs as well that I've actually been fortunate enough to know some people who they were actually part of those
Really,
projects.
the
So,
military had one too. It's called Operation Jedi.
really,
Yeah,
Hmm,
yeah. They have a book, a manual how to do it.
really,
It's a little
I didn't know
outdated,
that.
but I mean, I don't think it's outdated if it works.
I don't think there's could be. This has been done forever, just so that you understand. By location, remote viewing, out of body projection, energy projection, being able to see without your eyes. This has been done for millennia. It's not something new.
And so in your
Good.
dojo, when you teach people confidence and things like that, you also teach them like to follow their gut instincts. How
Absolutely.
would you be not like don't tell me secrets, but like how would
Sure.
you able to train someone to do that? Let's just say it's a
Sure.
kid that's been picked on.
Right.
He's kind of like doesn't have a girlfriend. I'm sure a lot of people come in like that, or some people at least. Like you gotta give them some confidence too.
Yeah, we don't really get into people's personal lives
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but
However, when people come in, and there is something different because then the martial arts that we taught, but COVID really put a kibosh on that because, I mean, people don't want to spar from 6 feet, and they definitely don't want to do it over Zoom. So with that said, what we did is when COVID really shut a lot of businesses down, especially in the martial arts and the fitness industry, dance industry, the personal, we have to be close to each other industries. Well, we had to make a choice. What were we going to do? So, like I said before, we had the fighting forms, energy generation, healing, and then we have Vibravision. But we started this whole thing, my brother and I, 23 and a half years ago, to help blind people and to bring Vibravision here. And we never thought we were going to be able to learn it because they never taught a foreigner, non-Indonesian. But then when they saw how much passion and dedication of what we were, I mean, we were just right off the bat willing to give up every damn thing we had to make sure that we could bring this to the world. And they're like, wow, okay, these are the guys we've been looking for. And they allowed us to start training. But we started off training people in the martial arts, and we did that for decades. And then the Vibravision came later. But the thing is when we were forced with this situation that we're not going to be able to keep going. I mean, everybody's dropping like flies, not because they were getting sick from COVID, but because they were afraid of COVID and they wouldn't come in. Well, we really game planned, okay, if we're going to do one thing, what is the one thing that we're going to focus on? Before, we focused just on Vibravision and doing these immersions like we do right now, where people come from all over the world to here in Ogden, but also we'll go to them. We'll go to them and do a workshop wherever they are. If they have enough people, we're going to be in Cancun. We're going to go to Miami. I'm going to be in Costa Rica just a little, like in November, doing these things all around the world. And the thing is that when we made that decision that we were going to work on just one thing, the universe opened up and said, okay, finally you're doing it. And even though in the hard times of COVID, it was really amazing to see that response from the universe that, okay, once you focused and you were solid, this is what I'm going to do. And we weren't trying to juggle 8 different programs, just he and I and a couple of instructors, 8 different, not just programs, 8 different complete syllabus of information. That's how comprehensive the system is. There's nothing like it. But once we did that, man, I tell you what, it was amazing how many people came out of the woodwork of the ether to, hey, I want this.
The ether, the force.
Yeah.
The force. I like to
Yeah.
call it the
Yeah.
force. Yeah, it couldn't be the ether.
I
It's
just
the
don't
fifth
want
element.
no copyright infringement here.
I
staying
mean,
away from it.
yeah.
You can.
yeah, I know what you mean. That's actually super interesting, dude. Tell me, what are some of the cool things you guys do here?
Okay, so the first thing that I would say is we teach people how to feel, flow, build, and project and use their internal energy, the energy that runs our life. They, in China they call it chi,
Yeah.
in Japan they call it ki, in India they
India.
call it prana.
Mhm.
Here we call it power. It's our power. So what we do is we teach people how through a very specific type of breath work that no matter what breath work you've done, you've never done anything like this. It stands alone. It is hard, it's pressure, it's glorious, and it's very calming and soothing and healing. It's amazing, but it's really hard to describe because there's nothing like it. You can't say it's like that. No, it's not. So what's cool is when we have yogis and people who have been teaching yoga for 17, 18, 20 years, they're like, this is different. There's nothing like this in the world. Yeah, we told you. But that said, you can't really, like being a father or a mother, you can't explain it to somebody who's not. It's an experience thing. So the cool thing is that we have a free gift on our website that people can go to and actually get a little taste of it, and then some online programs they can actually start to jump in if they're not able to come to our programs. But when they come to us in what we do, they jump in the deep end of the pool in an immersive event where you are with us 10 to 12 hours a day, and you are learning things in the first day that literally took us a decade to be shown.
And this is the retreat you're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay.
Yep.
That's
So
awesome, dude. That sounds very interesting. I'm already sold.
Yeah.
I am, well, because I'm really big on breathing
Yeah.
and just internal power. When people are like, I know there's like also power in like crystals
Sure.
and other things, and
Yeah.
I've talked to like witches and stuff on this podcast,
Yeah.
and they do like spells with different things. But at the end, I know they put an intention with belief and clarity, but it's all inside of them. That extra stuff is just, it's just like an extra tool that I guess they need. It's been passed down to them, but you have the power of God within you.
Absolutely.
That's what
For
I mean.
sure.
So I don't like to give things outside of me power.
Yeah.
Like people like to carry like certain stones with them because it's going to keep them safe. I'm like, honestly, you could just do that yourself, right?
Sure. Well, sure. So like this, what I'm wearing, this is a gift from a quantum physicist.
Nice.
So it does structure water in your body to be in a healthier crystalline structure. But I'm with you. A little,
Yeah. You know what I mean?
There, but I also,
That
to
pertains.
that end, I think that, when people have that belief, whether that thing works or not, by believing in it, they're changing
Yeah.
reality because of their belief in it, and therefore that thing works.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So,
Placebo effect, my
hey,
man.
more, if
More
you
power
wanna,
to yeah, but but I also apply it to
Accept it.
medication.
Absolutely. The
That's what I mean, like-
placebo, the
like-
nocebo, those effects are absolutely real.
Like people that are sick,
Yeah.
they could heal themselves, right? Like imagine they come to your seminar and they're kind of sick.
Happens often.
It does.
Yeah,
Can you tell me like an example of once when it's happened?
Well, without saying that we cure anything or
Yeah.
that we offer and promise anything, because
Yeah.
we can't, and
Yeah.
even doctors can't.
Yeah, I get
you
it.
yeah. But we've had numerous cases of cancer, allergies, asthma, arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. Never Parkinson's. We've never seen that Parkinson's or MS with our system have a big effect. But we've had a lot of different people come to us with different things. As a matter of fact, before COVID, flipped everything upside down. We had a program called The Wealth of Health, and it was just the energy work and breath work and meditations of the Marpati Putti system without the martial arts or fighting. No Vibravision either. And we would have people come to that specifically to come and balance their health. And we had people stick with us for a decade plus because it was so beneficial.
Now I want to try it. What is it, a weekend thing or a week
It
thing?
was every single Wednesday. Now all we do is the workshops, just because we had to change our whole business model.
Mhm.
And so, because
of COVID.
Yeah, well,
I get it.
yeah, we also had a pretty high attrition rate for our instructors because when you don't have anybody to teach and you don't have any money coming in, how do you pay these people? Well, it's really difficult to do so. And so then they move on to different parts in their life.
That's
And
cool. Hey
yeah.
man, as long as you're here,
Get it.
dude, and you're teaching it,
Yeah.
that's
Getting
awesome.
it.
I'm super interested. I've actually seen people at a different meditation retreat with stage 4 cancer, and I talk about it on this podcast all the time. And I met the guy. He was super sick, bro. They gave up on him. They're like, "You're on hospice." He was in
Yeah.
his 30s, about my age.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you see this guy, you're like, "Oh man!" Like you could just see the pain and suffering in his face. And I kept in contact with his older brother, who had to help him out of the plane to come there. 7 weeks later, I call him, the brother, and I'm like, "Hey, how's your brother's cancer?" He's like, "What cancer?"
What
He was
cancer?
able to completely get rid of it. And I'm like, "Nah, you guys are just saying that because he's probably feeling a little better." I was like, "No, he took a cancer mark test,
Mm-hmm.
and he's below average. That means he's healthier than average people."
The average
yeah,
people, yeah.
yeah. So after I
I've seen that
and I
too.
FaceTimed him too, and I talked to him. And after I saw that, I was like, "Dude, anything's possible." Yeah, bring the mic up a little. There you go. Yeah.
Remember?
Man, yeah, dude. I have so many other questions. What is it about that thing inside of us that we've lost? Because I know we all have it, but it's just dormant.
So a couple different things of why that's really relevant. So first of all, what are the biggest movie franchises that there are? What if
Dude, it's
the
sci-fi
box
movies,
office,
bro.
But the
It's
box
like
office,
Marvel,
and
DC,
no,
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
So top grossing films, you look at Star Wars, you look at Marvel, right? There's a reason why. Yes, it's very visually entertaining, but I think deep down inside all of us, every single one of us wishes we had a superpower.
Yeah,
we wish
bro.
we could be that superhero, hopefully not a supervillain, but every single person knows deep down that we have more that we can do and be than what society has told us we can and what has allowed us to be. And so when we go see these things, maybe it's not teleportation or flying or something like that, but if some people have amazing hearing, other people are able to consciously block pain at will. Some people can see without their eyes, other people can remote view, other people can hear a conversation in another room when there's no possible sound there, but they can hear it. It's clair audience, right? So there's all these different things that it's possible and has been demonstrated that the skeptics and the cynics will say, oh, that doesn't exist, that doesn't work. Okay, because you can't reproduce it over and over for every single person. And well, okay, but what about the savants, the people that are the one in a whole human population that can do what they do? You can't look at what they do and say, oh, that doesn't exist because everybody else can't do that. And yet, if it's somebody with an incredible ability that they've worked for decades on to make, and they're like, hey, I can see without my eyes. Hey, I can levitate. Hey, I can shut down my organs at will. They say, no, 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 no. Even if they hook them up to machines, no, 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 it doesn't exist because it's so far out of their paradigm that it just breaks their brain.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad part is how many people look at that and say, oh, well, that person, they didn't understand it. They've got all these alphabet soup after their name, so therefore that must not be true. Instead of going and finding out for yourself, which is what knowledge is. So
that's exactly what it is. That's why I'm here, dude. I'm picking people's brains. I'm like, there's something to it.
Right.
I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely something to it.
Yeah.
And there's one guy, Wim Hof. He's teaching other people with his own style to at least like how to help people. So they've done experiments on him, and they still can't believe it.
Oh yeah, they've disbelieved that for a long time, even though it's right there on charts. He holds something like 50 world records.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think the most benefit you could probably do is just help people heal themselves, dude.
Absolutely.
Like,
well, there's no greater service than the service to other people. There's nothing that you can do for yourself that feels as good as helping more.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, as far as beliefs are concerned, not everything needs to be a known. I believe the great white sharks that would hurt to get bit by one. I don't need to have that happen to understand that. But I also don't want that experience.
Yeah, I don't want that experience either.
But when it comes down to, let's say, being able to take your hand and slowly break through iron bars without any injury, to prove to yourself after you've been pushing them and hitting them on things, and you're like, this is a strong iron bar, and then you're like, I focus it here and I break it and it goes right through like it's butter. Well, that's something that anybody who does that goes, wow, I can do more than I thought I could. And once we ring that bell and we really start to ascend that ladder of our human potential, shit, man, the sky's the limit. As a matter of fact, the sky isn't the limit. You go out of the stratosphere.
There's no limit, bro.
And there are so many people throughout history that have documented things where levitation, walking on water. There's a priest. I think she's
Saint Bernard, 15th century.
No. She's in France, and she's still entombed in glass. She still hasn't decomposed since like the 1500s, 1600s.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and she's still pliable. So, what do you say about that? Should at least rigor mortis, much less should be a skeleton? No. So there's all these different things that there's a beautiful book called The Future of the Body.
The Future of the Body.
The Future of the Body. It's out of print, but I'm sure that you can find anything nowadays. And it's written by the SLN Institute, and it has literally hundreds of accounts of people who were able to do amazing, super normal things, superhuman, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is it's like the bumblebee shouldn't actually be able to fly according to physics, but don't tell the bumblebee that because it's too busy doing it. So that also has a lot to do with the things that we're doing here, helping people, and people who might say, oh, that doesn't exist, that's not real. It's like, don't tell the people who are over here doing it.
Yeah.
Because you know what, we're all on different paths, and it's okay if you're at a different path than that person. But I do my best to always respect where somebody is at, even if let's say they're a violent person, maybe they are hurting other people, maybe they're a dishonest person. I try to have that compassion that they're just doing the best that they can with what they have right now, and we're all learning, and not a single one of us has it all figured out. Nobody has it all figured out, and if they do, they're not talking. So, I mean, some people talk.
Yeah, some people talk.
For sure.
Yeah.
But then they also have their own drama because everybody's got their own shit. Yeah. Everybody does.
But we're all human.
Exactly.
We're all human. Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, even if that we're all human, they have their own shit. When I see someone in pain and suffering, and they're taking 12 different medications, and I'm in the medical field, bro, that actually bothers me. And I ask them, why are you taking this one, that one? And they're like, I don't know. The doctor just told me to take it. And I was like, oh, man. You can actually heal yourself.
You trust the white coat over your own research or your own senses or your own intuition. And so many people, I mean, it's not a bad thing to believe the diagnosis, but to believe the prognosis, I've seen too many people in wheelchairs get up and walk, and people with stage 4 pancreatic cancer and lung
Yeah.
cancer no longer have cancer, to really feel that it's wise to believe every single thing that somebody in a white coat tells you. Because, like I said, before we started this, like I said, I've talked to so many doctors that they've said that's why we call it a medical practice. We're still practicing. They don't have
Yeah.
it figured out, and they never will, because with 8 billion people, you're going to have 8 billion, really, 8 billion different possibilities for any
100%. I agree.
meditation.
I agree. I
Yeah.
talk to doctors about this all the time
Yeah.
because they're trying to measure consciousness, and I talk to neuroscientists, and like they haven't even begun to scratch the surface, and they can't multiply it.
No.
So they're still trying to use the old scientific method for it, but it's not working. It's just, bro. I have a good friend that's a neuro biologist specializing in perception. He's like, it's not working, dude. He's like, you cannot use this for consciousness. It's like there's 8 different people with 8 different ways they're living their life, 8 billion ways that they're seeing the world, and you cannot apply that to them.
Yeah, and that's exactly so. I'm so glad you brought that up, because so many times I've been asked in interviews like this that, okay, so when you do Vibravision, what do you see? What do you feel? And I'm like, you know what? That's a really good question, because for me, I feel heat, and I will see things in my visual field. But the people who have mastered it, I mean, these are the people that can drive cars through traffic, blindfolded, eyes taped shut,
Really, you seen
blind
that?
people. Oh, I've been in cars with them. Absolutely. Yeah, you'll have to see the videos. You haven't seen
Dude,
the stuff,
yeah, I
so I'm
haven't seen the
like,
video. I'll watch
dude,
them for sure.
dude,
I just
you
want to come
gotta
in with
just like,
surprise.
you're great.
Yeah.
So one of the people, he just feels a different heat sense, and whatever it is on the scale of heat and different temperatures on his skin, he knows that that's a yellow or blue, red, green, or whatever pole. He also can feel exactly where it is. His son, on the other hand, will like throwing these beanbags at him. He's got a lightsaber and he's blocking them, calling out the colors. As,
Blindfolded.
yeah. And so I asked him, I said, Colton, what do you see? What is it that you see? And he's like, well, what I see is I see myself from the beanbag, and I'm traveling toward me. So it's like my consciousness is in the beanbag getting thrown at me, and then I block me. We're like, okay. Other people, they see in their mental screen like I'm seeing you right now with my eyeballs.
That's next level, dude.
Other people, it's an internal knowing. So they might get different sensations in different organs or on their skin in different ways, because each one of our skin cells has light receptors, every single one of them, trillions of them. So it's really different. Like you said, neuroscientists are like, I don't know, it's consciousness. It's non-local. They know that because they can measure it from outside your body with equipment now. And then there's also the phenomenon of people, let's say in a surgery where they go under, and they are able to tell the doctors exactly what they were doing while the person was anesthetized, or a mother who sees her son die in the war at exactly the moment it happens because she's there, or sometimes sexual assault survivors who astral project like into a corner of a room or into another room to get away from what's happening to their body. These are thousands of accounts of people that have never even studied anything like this. So if it seems to be a recurring phenomenon that the consciousness can perceive, and we actually see with our mind, we see with our eyes, but we actually also see with our mind, and the mind is non-local, consciousness can be projected, well then, what does that open up? That opens up a
Everything, dude.
whole can of worms, and it shuts down a whole lot of limitations. But it also opens up the questions in the scientific method of how do we reproduce this? And like I said, 8 billion people, there's going to be 8 billion different things that might help that person. So it's up to every single person. In my own, I only speak from my own experience, and this is as I have experienced it myself. We have to find the right path for us. Nobody can tell us this will work 100% of the time for you. And as a matter of fact, Merpati Puti, it means white dove, but the full Javanese, that's an acronym. Merpati Puti is an acronym. That's a shortened version of what in ancient Javanese means to seek and to find that which is right, doing in silence. So you have to find your own path. And these are the tools that we use. We use these tools reliably to help people find that for themselves, because there's nobody that's going to be a better guide for your life than you. And if you let anybody else, then you're going to be trying to live their life. And just that's not why we're here.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
Would you say you said it, there's 8 different paths. Would you say breathing and meditation would help 8 billion people?
Oh, without a doubt. Well,
Yeah.
and this is why. So, a couple of things. Number one, almost all of us breathe incorrectly. 1 in 8 people will die from lung cancer. Sorry, will die from air pollution on the planet now because the air is so screwed up.
Wow.
That's the World Health Organization stat. But also, 90% of all disease or more, according to the CDC, is caused by stress. So we can make ourselves sick, but we can also make ourselves well,
I agree.
right? And it all starts with our breath, because our breath is the only system that we can all of us easily control at will, that is really an autonomic process. We breathe 29,000 times or more a day, but very rarely do we take a pause to actually do it on purpose. Now, you do a lot, I do a lot, but for the average person out there, they are breathing by default. But you're not probably at this moment if I said, okay, go ahead and stop your digestion. Ready? 3, 2, 1 now. No. But if I said, hold your breath, 3, 2, 1, we can all do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that I could do.
Right? Well, you're not going to be able to regulate the production of insulin or all the 1,400 plus different chemicals that are produced every time we have a thought. You're not going to be able to do that. It is possible to control those things, but it requires a lot of discipline. And also, when it comes down to vital life force, that's where we get it, is from the air. That's prana, means
That's
air.
air.
So this is something that it's a solar phenomenon. It gets trapped in the atmosphere. We inhale it and it comes into our body. So by taking very specific meditations designed to harness and to hold on to and then develop and build the energy in our body, not only are we able to do amazing things like breaking steel or seeing with our eyes, but the thing is, your subconscious and your body already knows what to do with this energy to keep you healthier. So we get more oxygenation, we have lower blood pressure, we have lower pulse rate, we have better immune system function.
That's less stress.
Less stress, which
Yeah.
is then going to
Yeah.
lower the cortisol and all those harmful chemicals. So I think that with breath work and meditation, every single person in the world not only can benefit from it, but really needs it in some form. Now, there are many of kinds out there. Find the one that works for you, right? Definitely find the one that works for you. We have one that's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of Pepto-Bismol
That's
for
good,
life, right? Because it works for everybody. If they have a body, it works. If they don't have a body, it can't really help you. But it's not there. Everybody's going to go to Rome somehow. Some people just wait for Rome to come to them by just living a mediocre life and not ever going out and doing anything. And the next thing, by Rome, I mean, what's next after our life, our physical life,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
That kind of Rome. We're all going to find out. But what do you want to do when you're here? What kind of roads do you want to travel and build and get to? And what do you want to explore?
I want to explore everything. Dude.
Right? I would rather look at Google Maps and say, I'm going to go on every single cross street.
I just came back from Guatemala and Peru.
Nice.
So I want to experience it, dude.
Beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
Just no other reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
I'll
want
mark
to
that
see
too.
life. Actually, the reason I was in Guatemala, to tell you the truth, is I went to a dark meditation retreat.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
A lot of our students have done that.
Have you? Dude, I set up for 5 days. I couldn't go the full 5 days. I wasn't ready. I'll be honest. Like after a day and a half, the goal was to have a mystical experience because I've never done psychedelics and I wanted to. But when I was in there, actually, they warned me. They're like, it's not going to give you what you want. It's going to give you what you need. And I thought about it for like a day and a half when I was in there. It's like, do I need to have a mystical experience for my life to be happy? I'm like, my life is already really happy. And then after that, I just let myself out.
There you go.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are looking for these things that are out there.
It's all inside, bro.
It's all there.
It's all within.
inside.
Go within, right?
Excuse me.
Yeah. Do it. That's super interesting. I mean, I knew even when Drew told me about this place, I was like, I know martial arts is incorporated, but it has to be so much more. Because this is more like Miyagi-Do versus like Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I was just talking about that with a business mentor of mine earlier today.
Were you?
Coach. Yep. He's like, man, this is like Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and you guys are definitely the Mr. Miyagi's and all.
Yeah, but that's what people need, dude.
Yeah.
You don't need more anger. You don't need power and force. Honestly, if you truly have all that within you, you could probably avoid a fight anyways.
That's the most important thing.
Right?
That's the best thing you can do with martial arts is not fight.
Yeah, because if you're like a black belt, 5th degree, 6th degree martial arts, honestly, you're a lethal weapon.
You are, however, it's the people who have the most, let's say, black belts that use it the very least.
Right, I agree. But that's what I mean. Those people, are not going to fight unless it's like a life or death situation.
Exactly.
They're probably just going to be the first ones to walk away. But that comes with discipline and inner intuition, and just the fact that it is really worth the fight. Just walk away.
I would much rather buy you a beer and let's sit down and have a conversation than ever spill blood, for sure.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about it as well is it depends a lot also on what somebody's current state of mind is as well, because we're always manifesting. So I just choose not to manifest those kinds of situations in my life.
Me too, brother. And I've been to some sketchy places, like
Yeah.
even in Guatemala,
Yeah. Oh,
and I stopped by, I think, what was it, Panama, and it was pretty sketch, dude.
Mhm.
But I told myself I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna get out of here, dude.
Right.
I'm gonna have fun and go back home, and nothing happened.
Yeah. You walk with peace.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you guys teach people how to manifest things?
We've had a lot of people call this the martial art of manifestation,
Really?
because what we do here definitely is right along the lines, the principles of The Secret or Abraham Hicks' work of attention, intention, and then expectation. So focus on what you want, intend, and imagine what it would be like to have that, and then expect it. That's the feeling of what it's going to be like when you have it. So you visualize,
Nice.
imagine, and feel things, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that we focus on very strongly here. This is really it's not just a martial art. It's truly is a life art, because if you want to manifest, we actually had a couple of our people, very affluent people, they used some of the Vibravision skills and their intuition, and in just not very long, they manifested $250 million. Yeah,
Nice.
250 million plus.
No, I'm sure they probably gave a lot of that away. Not a lot of it, but probably some of
Yeah,
it.
they donate huge donations.
Yeah, I
Huge
believe that.
donations, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
every day I do affirmations for health. So I feel like that's the most important thing you have in your life. Because if you don't have health, nothing is really sweet.
Just right.
And-
As a matter of fact, up on our board over there, you'll see when you leave, there's a little cartoon that's got a doctor sitting next to his patient, and he says, "Okay, so you can either exercise for an hour a day or be dead for 24 hours a day. What fits your schedule better?"
Yeah, an hour a day.
True.
And throw in some meditation. Why not?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
But one thing that really fascinates me, I have to do it myself, is the way you guys channel the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done it inside. Actually, about 2 weeks ago, I went camping. Dude, I fell off of a tree right on my leg, and I was limping. And I was just meditating. I was like, dude, I don't want this to happen, because I couldn't exercise or anything. I couldn't even put my leg straight. And I just did a mental exercise of myself running. And then at first I was limping as I was running. And after that, I just ran good.
Right.
Dude, within a day, it actually just completely healed.
Right.
And I was shocked. But I want to take you to the next level, dude.
Yeah. Well, when you go to our website, vibravision.com, just get our free gift. It's going to pop right up. Get that. That's the first place to start. We've got a couple other programs that will really help in that regard. And I'm working on producing one that is specific of the Murpati exercises for healing yourself internally, mentally, emotionally, physically, but also not spiritually. That's for you.
Yeah,
if you want to do
is,
it,
yeah.
we're not dogmatic at all. There's no belief structure here, which is kind of cool in a way, because, I was not raised religious. I'm here in Utah. A lot of people are religious here. And I grew up in a very small town, not religious, hippie parents from Northern California.
That probably helped you out a lot, bro.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. It would also led to a lot of bullying and a lot of problems and
Yeah.
pain. So there's that.
Because you're the outsider, yeah.
Yeah, but, as that goes, when it comes down to now a little bit later in life, having belief systems that support expansive consciousness, that was so beneficial to me and my family, because we grew up with parents who meditated back in the 60s and, throughout my life. And they were like, go find out. Touch the burner. That sucked, didn't it? Don't recommend you do it again. Do it again. Well, it sucked twice as bad this time, isn't it? It's called life and learning.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have helicopter parents.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it was just, that's good. I'm glad I'm here, though. There's a lot of situations where I'm like, I almost didn't make it out of that one. I'm glad.
Almost, bro, but you did.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. And I learned. I never went back again. So, we have all these experiences in life, which is amazing. We just really love helping people go from hello to holy crap in as little time as possible to change their paradigm. Because once, like, you've seen something, you can't unsee it, or you ring
There's
a bell,
no way,
you can't
brother.
unring it, right? And we help people through our workshops and even our online class have breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough moments where their whole vision, their paradigm of their life shifts of not just what they can do, but who they are and who they came here to be. We're not here to tell anybody who you're supposed to be. That's up to them to find out. That would be irresponsible and also misleading to even think you can do that.
Yeah, you're messing with people's free will at that point. But you just help them get to where they want to go
Exactly.
on the unconscious level,
Yeah.
probably.
Give them the tools.
Yeah, give them the tools. I like it. One last question for you, but I just want to say one thing. In the 60s, when your parents were meditating,
Mm-hmm.
doctors unanimously thought that was complete bullshit and a waste
Absolutely.
of time, and it didn't
Yep.
help you. Now, there's fMRIs. I have a friend that has a neuroscience building where he uses a bunch of machines, and we do meditations, and I'm able to drop into alpha like this.
Nice.
I'm working on dropping into theta, and there's like science proving that meditation
Where is
helps
this? Because I want to go there.
you. Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually in Midville.
Oh,
Dude, I'll introduce you to that. I'm gonna see him tomorrow.
oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
I will
I'll see if I
definitely-
could get you a coupon where they do one on you, and then they do the brainwave scans, and then they just give it back to you like what's going on.
Sweet.
But I started messing with it. I started meditating, and then dropping, and it completely messed it up.
Well, I'm more even more interested in seeing what, like, when we get the Vibravision masters to go down there and see what happens
Yeah.
when they're actually on target.
And he's super cool.
Yeah. Nice.
And actually that machine is mobile, so
Nice.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'll see if I could talk to him.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. But
Totally.
that guy's super awesome.
Totally.
I'm gonna
Let's
see
do
him
it.
tomorrow, actually.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Funny enough. Last note, I always ask people this question. Let's just say people are in suffering, they're in pain. Say they're depressed, they lost their job, they have a family. What would be some advice you would be able to give these people?
Drugs, man.
No, bro.
Sorry,
I
dude.
highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that, bro.
No, that's actually yes, but in a way, yes, because we manufacture them all in our own body.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Well,
there's
that's a
that.
chemical. Yeah, neuro.
Right.
Yeah, right. So
But no,
your
no,
brain's
no,
like
you're
the
not really.
best drug in
Yeah.
the world, best
So-
pharmacy in the world.
You just went over a whole bunch of different things. To have one answer for all those different things,
Yeah,
that
that's-
might
that's-
not
that's a little
necessarily be
tough.
where to go. But what about one? What's like one specific thing?
People are suffering. Okay, depression.
Okay. Obviously, the most important thing you can do with depression is exercise. Get out and walk. Get out and move. The number one cure for depression is movement and using your body.
Okay.
So that's the very first thing. Join a gym, get a personal trainer, somebody to be accountable for, somebody who's going to lift you up, be positive with you and for you. If you're around people that are pushing you down, get away from those
Yeah.
people because you become who you hang around. But there are also, most cases of depression can also be linked back to almost like a sense of boredom, like, it's not going the way I want, so therefore I'm depressed. But then there are people who are clinically depressed, like their brain morphology of the brain is off, or their brain is consistently, for some reason, producing chemicals that put them in that state. In which case, I'm not a
Doctor.
doctor, but I'm also not against, if you've tried everything you possibly can do, going and seeing a psychiatrist, going and seeing people who actually are professionals in this to see if there actually is something. Because if you need an MRI and find out, oh my God, I was depressed because there was a tumor or because of this or something else, there are a lot of different therapies that you can do as well. And I'm definitely a big fan of asking for help when you need help and reaching out.
Always ask for help, bro.
Yeah, because if you don't know what to do, not doing it some more is not going to help you.
Right. That's why I started this podcast, dude. So
Yeah.
different avenues of how people can help themselves.
You bet.
I would say come to your class, dude,
Yeah.
and do a meditation, and do
Just
like some
a free
affirmations,
gift.
and
Go
then do
online,
some like
yeah.
martial arts too,
Yeah.
and it'll get your mind off of things.
Absolutely.
Because just going into the unknown.
Yeah.
You don't know what to expect, so you're not really going to be depressed at that moment because
Yeah, it makes you present.
it makes you very present, and
Yeah.
that's important.
And that's why a lot of people are depressed because of two things: regretting the past or fearing the future.
Yes.
But they're not actually in this present moment. Sometimes they are, but for the most part, not. And our society tells us you should have more, you should be more, you should look like this, you should do these things, and if you're not, then you suck. That's not exactly like that, but that's so much of our advertising, and especially for women and girls. I mean, you have to look like this. And Instagram, they just had that big lawsuit and all the
They
things.
did?
Catering to
Hot chicks.
no, to young, prepubescent girls, these body imaging, and really targeting them psychologically. And the thing is these things are now run by AI, and they're not even run by people.
Yeah.
So the AI it goes to algorithms like, this is what's going to hook people because they know how it's going to really influence our dopamine centers and get us hooked on these things. And it has no conscience. Not that the big tech or big businesses
Yeah,
really
yeah,
ever have a
yeah.
conscience, but computers definitely not. And so, that book. What was? No, it's a movie. It was called. It was
Are you talking about
really
Ex Machina?
no. This is a documentary about some of the founders like of Twitter and things like this that were saying, "Oh man, I would never let my kids have computers." I'm blanking on it so hard
It's
right
okay.
now, but it's so worth watching.
Where you
Oh
trying to go with this
man,
is kind of like
well,
shutting off,
well,
unplugging,
yes, exactly. Well, and being true to yourself,
being true to
not
yourself.
looking for the outside validation from other people, and that's something that hey, I struggle with it. Everybody does.
Yeah.
We're in this modern world.
But can I
It
tell you
happens.
something? I've always been like the outsider. I've had close friends, but I've always been like the weird one. But it wasn't until I truly, truly embraced that I felt complete and happy, dude. And I'm
Right.
like, I like myself for who I am. I would always travel, do like different things, come out of my comfort zone. My friends wouldn't,
Yeah.
and they would make fun of me for that, because it's like crabs in the bucket.
Yep. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Getting
but
pulled down.
ever since I said I don't give a shit, bro, I'm just gonna do what
Mhm.
makes me happy. It's liberating.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And
Good for you.
thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro.
That's awesome.
And your website,
Vibravision.com. Yep.
got it.
So Vibra,
Check it out, and it'll give you the link, the website, everything,
everything you need.
some videos, and it'll give you the address too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Yep,
very much,
everything
brother.
you need. Yep.
I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, for everybody out there, stay strong. All the love, all the power to you.
Yeah, love and light, man.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.